Oh my god, she's a weirdo.
Hello, 'tis I, Fat Cow. Not my normal background. Reasons is because I have a cat asleep in my chair. Other reason, I'm feeling a bit shit. I wake up at 12:40 a.m. I've done the stuff. I made the video of me drawing shit. I then mixed it with an edited version of Foodie's Last Live, which I managed to cut down to 20 minutes of the most palatable and digestible of the content from a 3-hour live. I then recorded this video. It took over an hour. And then when I went back to edit the damn thing, the microphone was off in the settings. So, poof, all gone. So, I've gone out, I've done the thing, the child's at school, I've been to the shops, I've come back, I'm getting a migraine, I'm grumpy, I've got a load of things I have to do today, and I have to do them today, but here I am again. Edited video, me drawing, plus slow-mo in the bottom left corner of 2 shops I went to. The first one is a British shop called B&M. I can't remember what the B&M stands for. I think it's literally the surnames of the founders. B&M is a random shop, and they sell things cheaper than normal because they buy them as stock from other stores that couldn't sell it. So you don't always find the same thing twice. Shops, the things aren't out of date, they're not damaged, none of that. They just literally can't sell it. And so this shop buys the things in bulk from the other shops, taking it off their hands, and sells it at a slightly cheaper price than it would originally be sold for, but obviously marked up so they can make a profit. So it's a bit of a random shop. Reminds me of a posh Poundland. But it's good for some stuff, particularly pet stuff. And laundry things. And toys. The second shop, when it pops up, is a very dismal looking affair that suddenly appeared one day, called the Bargain Warehouse. And what the Bargain Warehouse does is it also buys stock that other shops can't sell, but also imported foreign stuff. So things are really obscure in that shop and are often in a language you cannot understand. And while it's a dismal looking place, not exactly spent a lot of money on zhuzhing up the appearance, which I guess is why they can sell things so cheap, and also doesn't feel very permanent. And for reasons, it feels kind of legal to shop there, although it isn't, it just feels shady. But sometimes you go in there and you'll find a phenomenal bargain. Today was not the day, but still, the shops are in the bottom left-hand corner. No commentary, obviously, because of this, but I thought you might be interested to see at least evidence that some of us in Girl World go out, which might or might not be prudent later. Anyway, let's get on with this. And hopefully we'll all survive. Let's get on with it. I've already said that. You're going to have to bear with me. Baby fugglers. Baby fugglers.
No, no, no. No, no, no. No!
What I'm drawing this time is a t-shirt using 2 pens only, one white, one black, on a black v-neck t-shirt that I was asked to do. They liked a design that was on a tote bag but didn't want the bag, they wanted a t-shirt, and that's what I'm doing. I will include at the end of the video a picture of the finished product. Stare at whatever bit of the screen you want to. I don't suggest Foodie being your necessary source of attention.
Hi everybody!
Now the clapping Foodie's just done wasn't because of her excitement of the audience. No. That clapping was actually aimed at the cat, because she does this off screen when she wants to scare or startle the cat from doing something or off of something. And at one point you will hear her slapping in the background her hands. She just was going to do it for the cat, but then realised, fuck, I'm on live. I think if she slaps her hands as aggressively as she does, but that you hear in the video when she's not online, sorry, this chair is a swivel chair if I move, that was my youngest's school. They felt unwell, and I went to pick them up. The plus side of that is I've got my chair back. But, yeah, everybody in the house is feeling somewhat grotty. Anyway, the swivel chair is my eldest, and whatever you saw in the background, briefly, was from their desk. Very gothic, if you ignore the fugglers. What was I saying? Yes. So the clapping you'll hear at some point in the background, I will draw notice to it, is quite aggressive when Foodie is trying to get the cat away from the TV, which makes me think that when she's not on live, she's more than likely actually striking the cat. Now, we know she hit Julia because we saw it, and we know she hit Sam and BBJ because we saw it. So the chances are she's slapping that 5-month-old kitten as well when she's not on lives. Additionally, well, this whole vet thing is a load of bullshit. And this getting Julia to Canada is bullshit too, because the entire cost to do so ranges between $1,500 to $4,000. You pay a $30 entrance fee. It has to have a full medical certification, and Julia will also have to have proof of a rabies shot, which I don't believe she has. But anyway, that's just the information I found out regarding that. And my train of thought is somewhat not on train. It's more like a penny farthing of thought currently. Anyway, onwards. Oh yes, I was going to say, if you hear any really loud banging in the background, my neighbour did a big number on their own car, so it's been parked several doors down from me, looking very sorry for itself, and currently a mechanic is trying very hard to fix it. I think it should have gone to a mechanic's place so it can go up on things and stuff, but no, it's been done in the street. So, yay. Oh, for goodness sake. Play.
Strawberries. Oh, don't you dare. Hey guys, just let me, get this together.
Now, if you watch this live on another platform, this particular bit, pay attention to the filter glitching a lot, because it's trying to keep up with the movement and the pattern of the top. Sometimes there's a line down the centre of Foodie's back which looks like it's tried to minimise the width by getting rid of the middle and kind of pushing the two sides together, and it also glitches if she's not entirely in frame, so when she stands off frame, and it also glitches when the kitten appears and blocks the view, and you just can see the glitching as it's trying to keep up with the filter, which I find hilarious personally. That the filters struggle is what I find hilarious. I find the fact she uses a filter frankly pathetic.
Get my coffee going. Well, can you not stand on the stove? It's very hot. Okay,
She could put the cat in another room while the stove is in use. Additionally, immediately after using the stove, while the top's still hot, she could put something on the hot bits so the cat doesn't stand on it. You know, even an upside down saucepan would do the job. Additionally, if she doesn't want the cat on her TV, there are two things she can do, and none of them are banishing the cat to another room, because then the cat would live in a single room forever, or however long Foodie chooses to keep it, so that it doesn't go into the room with the TV, very much like Timbit, but for different reasons. The two things you can do are, one, barricade the TV so the cat can't get on it. By barricade, I don't mean literally put a pillow fort around it. What you could do is buy a cabinet that the TV can sit in, and therefore you can't get on top of it because it's in a cabinet. The other alternative is to put it somewhere else, because cats are stubborn, but they're also incredibly agile and can get pretty much anywhere they want to when they try. So you can't stop a cat going somewhere you don't want. You can't physically stop the cat doing that unless you shut it out of the room, which isn't fair, especially in an apartment that size, and especially as Foodie spends most of the time in the room with the TV on the sofa and not most of the time in the bedroom. So you prevent the cat having access to the thing by blockading it or putting it somewhere they can't get, like mounting it on a wall or something, you know. You make accommodations for your pet. Everybody who legitimately cares makes accommodations for their pet, and they don't get angry at their pets for doing things they shouldn't, because, as I said previously, a cat's mental age is equivalent to a toddler, and toddlers put their sticky fingers in everything. You've got to keep that in mind.
I'm gonna make eggs and
the look on her face initially is she's always furious with this cat. She's always furious with her cat until she realises, fuck, I'm alive.
Hey, get down.
That's the slapping bit. She hits that cat. Guarantee it.
Hey, don't you dare. Oh no, get away. She tried to bite Mom.
All of Foodie's cats, from what we can work out, have tried to bite her, which is actually really unusual. I've had a lot of cats in my life, and I've been bitten maybe once. That was decades ago.
And don't you come back here. You're not wanted on the counter when I'm cooking. Thank you. I look skinny from the back.
She's pleased with the compliment, then realises it's a troll, and therefore deflects. Well, not deflects, she just kind of says, ha ha ha, no.
Kinda? That's interesting. Because I'm not skinny. You fancy Indian men? I don't fancy anyone at the moment. But if I was looking, I don't see a problem with that. I don't discriminate against race.
You do fetishise an entire ethnic group, though. Or culture, more the ethnic group actually. You do fetishise an entire ethnic group. So, while it is true that when you're in the right frame of mind, any dick will do, you're not fussy, you're a bit more picky when it comes to, you know, who you are seen to be associated with. So, yes and no, is what I'm saying.
I don't look, yeah, you can't look for outside validation.
And yet, your entire community you've built around yourself is a literal echo chamber and a hug box. And if there was anything that screams, I need validation, it's that.
And I am living.
Additionally, that pin you have under your chin, the one that has the white ending, makes you look like you have a wart. So either change it for a pin that's colour matches what you're wearing, or paint it black with nail polish or something, because it legitimately looks like a wart, and it's been discussed a fair bit on social media. So unless you're doing it on purpose, which would be really fucking petty, but not something that's put beneath you, it's an easy fix.
Not right now. I'm actually content that I'm just not suffering like I was when I first got here.
One, that's a lie. Two, what do you actually know about suffering? What you were when you first arrived was upset that Salah wasn't fighting for you and hadn't fought for you, and a bit shocked that what you usually use as a bluff, i.e. if you don't change I'm leaving, didn't work this time. It's not like you've been diagnosed with a terminal illness. It's not like you're living in poverty. You didn't exactly find yourself arriving on the shores of Canada with other people paying for it, by the way, and found yourself homeless and destitute. You weren't in an abusive relationship. You're not, you know, disease-ridden or in a country full of conflict. You're not suffering. You're barely breaking the surface of not doing well. You fell on your feet using the Beezer's dime, and you're living in comparative luxury to more than half of the entire population of the world, probably. Almost definitely. Yeah, sure, your health's crap, but that's about it. You're not suffering. Don't you fucking dare say you were suffering. You just didn't get your fucking way, you child.
I divorce. I don't even know what to say status-wise, but because I was leaving Syria, and I just realized we had a lot of differences, and my insecurities about children, and I just wanted, like, you know.
It's funny how in the entirety of Kuwait she wasn't insecure about not having children, and now not being able to have children, being insecure about not being able to have children is 50% of her reason for leaving and coming to Canada. And the internet. It's an interesting mix of reasons, but hey-ho.
But quality of life-wise, I think it's just better here.
Obviously. Third world country, war-torn for over a decade. Canada. And not just any old place in Canada. No, an expensive apartment in a building that advertised and is still advertising free rent until February to anyone who signed a year-long lease. Foodie. Anyone who signed during that period a lease for a year doesn't have to pay any rent for the duration of their stay until February, which means the money you got from your visas you used probably for the 1 month deposit. You wouldn't need to buy a plane ticket because you'd have to have a return ticket in order to enter Damascus or Lebanon or whichever way it was you came in this time. You didn't need a plane ticket. You didn't have to pay first month's rent until February, so you didn't pay for that. So you used the visa's money to pay for the 1 month deposit, probably the car rental you had initially. What else did their money go on? None of the stuff that you were asking for, that's for sure. You fucking scammer.
Seriously. You know? Throughout the whole Syria Act, it's obviously you're doing it for a man who couldn't care less about you. He is leading you on.
Exactly. 95% of girl world knows this. It's obvious. Of course you'll deny it ad nauseum until suddenly, in about a year, Salah disappears because he failed to get into Canada. So this bullshit, where she's just literally waiting, we're going to have to tolerate for a year. And the only difference, the only deviation from this content will be a health crisis.
Okay. If you're never back in Syria, you're only reunited if you sponsor him.
Exactly. Because you won't be able to get him to Canada. He's applied twice and already been rejected. You don't have enough steady income to fulfill the requirements to sponsor a spouse, because you need 3 years consistent tax records of a constant income of 45,000 or above. Additionally, he's already applied twice and failed. And additionally, any immigration investigator worth their salt will see your marriage is fake. Absolutely fake. As fake as the Kardashians. Fake. And if he doesn't get to Canada, which he won't, you'll want to be with him in Syria. And I think you're going to find it a little difficult to do that unless you, under your own, motivation, can literally get from this doorstep to the doorstep of his home in Syria without help, because he's not going to be there to do it for you. You're literally going to have to turn up on his actual doorstep to force your way in.
He gave me 1 year to sponsor him. Why are people trying to figure out things that are just not even like...
Foodie Beauty knows this though. It's obvious she knows that this is the romance scammer's end game. And the thing is, the only difference now is we know she accepts it. She accepts the fact she's been romance scammed for immigration to Canada, and she accepts it because that is better, in her opinion, than being single. Being used for immigration purposes is better than being single. I always knew that Foodie Beauty was a pathetic individual, but her level of patheticity is unfathomable.
Yes, there are many options. We can live in any country.
No, you cannot live in any country with Salah, because the countries Salah can live in are very, very limited, and none of them, apart from maybe Thailand, but probably not, you want to live in. So no, you don't have a lot of options at all.
We could live in a different country. I don't know. Why not Canada? I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I'm not even sure. Like, nothing is certain, right, about the future. Like, I'm not sure.
She's stumbling over her words. She's not even looking at the camera. Whatever she's talking about, she is being duplicitous and shady and trying to circumnavigate giving an actual answer.
Sure, like, what's going on. I'm just trying to focus on just, like, getting back established here, not feeling like crap, getting the help I need. I agree, Cleo, yeah. As for comments, I'm just not even going to argue with people anymore. If you want to believe a certain way of thinking or...
This is Foodie Beauty classic arguing something that she knows we know is true, is I don't care. You can think whatever you want. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It's not like it's true anyway. So why would I care? You can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. I don't care. I mean, it's not true, but I don't care. Seriously. Couldn't give a shit. Absolutely couldn't give a shit. It's not true though.
Statement, go for it. Like, I don't care anymore. Stuck it for 3 years. It wasn't awful. I mean, I did enjoy a lot of my time.
Yeah, the stuff you enjoyed was when you were at home eating and Salah was being a couple of positions below a butler and running around and doing stuff for you and bringing you the foods and bringing you the drinks and bringing you the remote control and the telephones and basically letting you do what you want. Because beyond that, there was no evidence of any joy whatsoever at all. Now, if you look at the shopping picture where I've stopped, incidentally, that product in the top left hand corner is a perfume, a body scrub and a shower thingy called Pistachio Caramel. Now, this was one of the fragrances from So, which we always buy predominantly at Christmas because it's cheap as chips. This was a scent we never come across before at all. So we got some, obviously. I'm rather, I wouldn't say fond of it. It's inoffensive. It does its job. It's not, like, wow, it's not my favourite, but it's good enough. The body scrub was weird. I mean, if you've ever come across kinetic sand, you'd understand what I mean. It literally felt like rubbing wet sand all over my body, and I thought, oh, this is odd, until I rinsed it off, and then suddenly it's like, silky smooth skin, like, okay, I feel like I've been greased up and, polished off. This feels soft. I mean, my description wasn't very good. Haven't tried the shower gel. Couldn't get the little tinfoil top bit off the end of the nozzle. I don't know why they make that so difficult. So it's not highly recommended, but it's not recommended either. I'm good at this, aren't I?
It's like very unfathomable.
So the So Escapes, okay, that's also always available at Christmas in Tesco's. However, Tesco's is £1 more expensive. The vanilla is excellent. The other flavours, scent, none of them are offensive. It's a nice little stocking filler. Yeah. The other So products, other perfumes, not so good. But those body sprays, I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen because you can't see what my finger's doing. The ones in the middle that say So Escapes, they're good. And if you want to buy the scent separately, I highly recommend the cotton candy, the vanilla, and especially the pink grapefruit.
The marble.
Pina colada is quite good, except it's not pina colada. It's not called pina colada. Or is it called pina colada? There's one that smells Bali Heights, something. It smells coconutty, anyway.
For a lot of people that I would find pleasure in traveling to Middle East. Well,
you don't travel, you change location. There's a monumental difference. I don't consider myself having travelled to the Middle East because I was there for 10 and a bit years. I lived there. I didn't travel there. Occasionally I travelled around it for work purposes, but I don't consider myself a traveller, despite the fact I've been to Thailand for 6 weeks, I've been to Australia for 6 months, and I've been to Italy for a month. I don't consider myself a traveller. But compared to you, and what you do when you change location, maybe I am.
I don't know. Not everyone takes pleasure in the same things. But what?
You take pleasure in nothing apart from food, weed, and dick, when you're allowed to have pleasure in that, which you're not currently. And I bet you're not pleased about that.
What are your long-term plans? Traveling, couples channel stuff, I don't know. Living life?
Part of the agreement that Foodie and Salah came to was that Salah would get to extensively travel under Foodie's dime, and she got him to Thailand, and then she completely ruined the holiday for him by not wanting to go out and do anything, and she never took him anywhere ever again. She dangled the carrot of travel in front of him, but knew 100% that carrot was made out of plasticine or Play-Doh, that it wasn't a real carrot. And my metaphor or analogy has gone completely down the toilet, much like Foodie's channel.
What is anyone's plans? Oh, he didn't give me anything. As for a year, like, he didn't give me a time frame for anything.
He absolutely, categorically did, judging by your body language, which is incidentally the exact length it takes for an immigration application to be processed and either accepted or denied.
I'm giving myself, I have a year, I'm stuck here, right?
She uses the words she's stuck here or she's forced to be here an awful lot when she's generally talking about this thing, which gives the distinct impression this is not voluntary on her behalf. She's not happy being stuck or forced to be in Canada. I don't think at the end of the day it was mutual.
So, I'm making the best of it.
You fucking are not. At all. And that face is unhappy.
I mean, not really. You can move if you really need to and stuff, but there's ways, but I'm just staying here.
Bottom right hand corner of that picture at the shopping is this really round little cat thing that I thought was really, really fucking cute. But I wasn't there to buy a round little cat thing. I was there to buy a Minecraft armadillo and some puppy pads. I know I don't have puppies. I do have a particularly anxious cat, though, and I'm not going to berate the cat for being anxious. She's just anxious by nature, and sometimes she doesn't go where she should do, and so I accommodate that, because I don't believe in punishing animals for things that are out of their control, and I don't believe in punishing them for things they have control over, because they're mentally toddlers. I'd as much punish a cat for doing something as I would a toddler for doing something, which is, I wouldn't. I would reward them and praise them for doing things the way I think they should be done, or correctly, or properly, or even trying to do things, but I wouldn't punish them. You can tell them, the toddler, not the cats, that what they're doing is somewhat misguided, but you don't punish them.
Nothing more to it. Just said you and Salah never made more content. That's what I said to him. I'm like, we had our couples channel monetized, ready to go.
And the reason there wasn't more content was entirely your fault. Entirely your fault. Now again, if you look at the picture, you can see in the trolley there are puppy pads, and you can see the perfume, and you can see the bum of the Minecraft armadillo. I pretty much stuck to my plan of what to get, with the exception of I got 2 really, really long hot water bottles for my kids.
And we didn't do more content. There are like so many content.
I was asking my child in brackets, they're 19, if the bottom thing, the orange thing, were clam plushies, because they really did look like clams. Turns out they're carrots.
Creators who just go live and just sit there and talk to their audience. Unless
Foodie is going to prove the point that a lot of streamers just chat, and that it's perfectly acceptable, but then go on to say on TikTok and on Twitch, to which I say, you're not on Twitch and you're not on TikTok, you're on YouTube, and YouTube is a platform to upload videos. Even people that do podcasts provide you with something to watch while listening to the podcast. It could be an animation, it could just be some sort of moving thing, it could be gameplay, but they provide a video. You are saying people chat and it's popular, but you're also saying that this is on TikTok and Twitch. So you're really missing the fucking point, aren't you?
They're in real life streamers, that's what they do. Yes, I am Stephanie. Are you just gonna watch me sit on the couch?
She's also commenting and telling you what she thinks, so she's not just sitting there watching you on the couch.
Every single streamer I watch on TikTok just sits there.
On TikTok. Not on YouTube, on TikTok.
I mean, just sits there and talks.
And I'd bet money they actually have interesting things to say. Not only are you not doing anything to create content, you're not even telling us anything new. You're just regurgitating the same lies. It's not even true. You're regurgitating the same lies and calling it content.
Name a few of these live streamers like this content. I would like to find more content. Name somebody in Gore World that goes out and streams.
This lady.
Dainty DeVito, I'll wait. Anybody in Gore World.
This lady.
Most of them don't even show their face.
This lady. This lady. That was me sitting and spinning. As you can tell from my face, I didn't find it particularly enjoyable because I'm a very easy person to make dizzy. But look, my face. Outside. Look. Things in shops. Filmed. Outside. And, if I remember rightly, I've made several shorts involving birds and feeding birds, which happens outside. Additionally, I know it's upside down, but these are the pens I use to do the t-shirts. You paint with the pen, you let it dry, you then iron it for 5 minutes, and ta-da! You can wash the damn thing and the design is still there. It's quite frankly remarkable. Splatman. Splatman, unfortunately, has been played with and looks sort of sorry for himself. We have several of these at home, and they do tend to get a hole in them, and then this weird kind of stuff, which I think is that non-Newtonian fluid that people make with cornstarch. Or sometimes it's just dry cornstarch. I do like the phrase non-Newtonian fluid. I wonder if Foodie knows what a non-Newtonian fluid is. Anyway.
Are you kidding?
That Splatman is very unfortunate looking. Poor thing.
It's called just chatting. There's like even a whole category of it on Twitch. That's what it's for.
On Twitch. That's what Twitch is for, not YouTube.
If it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. But you shouldn't go to someone's channel and like force them to do content they don't want to do.
Nobody is forcing you. Your beezers are begging you, though, to do anything but this.
It's your car beezing. I don't have a car. Sorry. If you miss my car beezing, well, you'll have to wait till I get a car. I'm going to be renting a car later.
That was a black pens. It was very quick. Sorry.
For most of the holidays, I need a car, you know? I said I was going up today. I'm thinking of it.
Yeah, but thinking about doing something and actually doing it isn't the same thing. It's not nearly as entertaining watching you think about doing something if actual thinking is what you're actually doing in your noggin. That is debatable.
I was going to go to like the dollar store. So I could still go.
Thrilling. You were going to do something, but you're not now. That's your content. I was going to walk on the moon, but I don't feel like it. Was that exciting, guys? Were you thrilled by that? It's almost as good as actually doing it, isn't it?
Oh? What do I want there? See, I just want to get snacks. It's not... I do go out. I have done a lot of stuff on my channel.
The last time you legitimately did anything was during the Crackhead Olympics. Prior to that, you didn't do so much. You were at home. And post that, you definitely didn't do any much. And the only reason you went out so fucking often during that period of time was because you were chasing dick. Without the motivation of a potential chance of playing with somebody's pickle, you don't do anything. You go out for food and pickle play. And that's your entire reason for existing. Plus weed, which you can get delivered. You've sometimes gone out to buy it. You don't show us though, do you? No. You're a very basic human being, aren't you? you very much are in tune with your reptilian brain, and your higher levels of functioning and thought processes are somewhat devoid of activity.
Someone sends her money for food, she'll go out?
Yeah, you can bribe her to go out, as long as where she goes out involves food.
No, it's not only that. It's just that
It's absolutely that.
I just don't really feel like it. Whenever I think of like the logistics of getting ready and you're ready.
The logistics of getting ready are putting on a coat and some boots. That's the actual logistics. But then you've got to walk out the door, go in the elevator, go downstairs, walk a bit further. She has to walk full stop because she doesn't have a car. And that's logistics as far as she's concerned.
You're ready. I know, but like put your boots and put your jacket. I feel like this huge more when I have my jacket on.
I think, regardless of what jacket you wear, there comes a certain point in your girth that the addition of an extra layer makes very little difference to the impact you are creating visually anyway. Just saying.
What do you start to refer to Sol as your ex-husband?
Minecraft fox. Not a particularly foxy looking fox. If it wasn't orange, it'd be a bit difficult to tell, but hey ho.
I just call him Slaw. It's easier. Saying ex-husband is not the same as saying husband. I'm embarrassed because people stare. No, I don't care.
Oh, I don't care at all. No, I absolutely don't give a shit whatsoever. I don't care. No, no, I don't care. You care enormously. I haven't included it, but there are clips of Foodie getting ready to go out. Well, being out. But she's filming from down, so you can just see her face up, and she is looking around everywhere. Her eyes are darting continuously to see who's there and who's looking at her, because she thinks everybody is looking at her and it makes her uncomfortable. I, on the other hand, have absolutely no idea when I go out whether people are looking at me or not, because I've had a very blinkered view of other people for most of my life, because I don't want to know if I'm being looked at or not. I choose not to notice. I deliberately don't notice. That's a me problem, but that's just how I've chosen to go about things. When I'm with another person, the other person may comment on the fact I'm being stared at, so I know it happens. I choose not to notice it. I'm happier that way. It's better for my mental health.
Why would I care what friggin' stranger Joe over there thinks about me?
But you do. You obviously do. I know it's ironic considering what you do for a living, but being behind a screen is very, very different from being in front of people in person. Trust me, I know. I am very less open to conversations in real life than me talking from the safety of my own home to a microphone and a screen. Me here is not very, very different in terms of the actual personality, but it's a bit hard for me to be myself around people. I'm actually very shy. I like to blend in without blending in, if that sounds like the most ridiculous thing. I just can't put it in a way that will make sense given my appearance. But my appearance is a shield in some ways, because it's like me wearing, like some insects display vibrant colours to indicate they're poisonous. This is me, in some ways, letting everybody else know before they've even spoken to me, I'm not usual, I think is the best way I can put it. There's a quote from Game of Thrones, the little guy, sorry, I don't know his name. Also, was a quote that was used in Criminal Minds, oddly enough, regarding the lady who did all the computer stuff. Peggy, no, whatever. And that's, you wear your appearance like armour. In other words, this is armour. It's basically telling people don't approach me. Not because I'm horrible or mean, but because I can't deal. I'm not good at it. I'm awkward. I'm shy. I don't make eye contact unless I force myself to. My neurodivergency kind of prevents me functioning as a normal human being in situations beyond dealing with people in customer service. I'm quite good at small talk with cashiers and waiters and things like that, bus drivers, but don't approach me to have an actual legitimate conversation, because unless there's alcohol involved, I'm going to really struggle.
Do you guys want to go to the store or something? Can you send PayPal for Chinese? No. I feel like such a grifter. No.
Yes, you are. And you're going to prove that even further in a bit for something significantly more serious.
Oh, I don't need to, thank you. It's true, whenever I'm in the elevator or like down in the lobby or somewhere, I'm just like, how many people know me?
I would guess that your existence within your building complex is very well known. Not for who you are, but just your presence. I'd imagine neighbours talk about you a fair bit. You know, I saw that woman again. You know the one that smells bad. You know, the one that waddles when she walks. You know, that heavy breather. They know who. They don't know who you are, but they know about you. I can fucking guarantee it.
Everyone in the building is a beezer. I feel like...
They're not a beezer. They're definitely not beezers. They have no idea who you are, or the fact you have a certain level of infamy on the internet. You're that person that they talk about when you're seen, the same way people talk about Yetis and the potential of seeing them. You're not mythical on that level, but when there's a sighting of you, you're definitely discussed. Discussed. Not disgust as in with a G, disgust as in talked about.
Everyone, I'm like, they know me. Dishwasher? I have a dishwasher. But I was like, I can't tell them I have a dishwasher. Hey, fucking play! I'm not...
The whole pretending to be getting a dishwasher to throw people off the scent that the fact that the place you were renting had a dishwasher is complete and utter bollocks. You pretended you needed a dishwasher to require one for two reasons. One, because you knew there was a small chance that once you were in the apartment, somebody would overhear the dishwasher being used and would say, oh, the apartment came with a dishwasher. So that was a reason to say that's why you heard a dishwasher. And two, was for more money. The fact of the matter is, most people, the vast majority of people, don't have dishwashers, and the fact that you never mentioned a dishwasher at all wouldn't raise any flags. It's not a topic people talk about. Just isn't. Most people don't have them, and I would argue you don't need one. You have a bowl, a plate, a knife, some cooking pots, and a cup, and that's it. Hardly something that justifies the amount of water you would need in a dishwasher to clean. And anyway, every time you fucking see you at the sink, you're hand washing shit. You don't need a dishwasher. You didn't need a dishwasher. You didn't need that apartment that you settled for. Well, settled in brackets. But there again, it was free. And when you did put some money down for the deposit, it wasn't your money anyway. So who gives a shit? You'll start giving a shit in February when you have to start paying actual rent. Or is your plan to fuck off just before that starts?
Going back to Syria, that's not what happened, Miss Lockwood. You're fabricating that up. I don't know why it gives the impression that we're getting back together and not the impression that I just got divorced. Like, I'm
because you're still in contact with him. And your whole demeanour is suggesting you're fabricating. People, very rarely, more often than not, it's kind of unlikely, unless kids are involved, keep in daily contact with the person they've just left. I'm just saying.
Like 3 years with somebody, like why would I be ready to mingle right now? And if I was staying with him, what does that matter? I'm still in Canada.
Yeah, what? Okay, this is why it matters. If you're still together. Your entire fundraising endeavours to come back to Canada was based on the fact your marriage had ended. Therefore, if you're still together, it proves that you fraudulently got money out of your supporters because you told them you had to go back to Canada because your marriage had failed, when the truth of the matter is you wanted to go back to Canada because you were uncomfortable. The end result was the same, but the reason you gave was more serious and tugged on people's heartstrings significantly more than I want AC, I want constant electricity, I want the internet, I want fast food, and I want weed. Because that's really fucking selfish reasons for wanting to get money off people, to pay for your lavish, and it is in comparison to most of the population of the planet, lifestyle, as opposed to the impression it's not safe there, which you gave quite a lot leading up to this, and the fact your marriage had failed. You portrayed this as a rescue mission, when at the end of the day you got your visas to finance an upgrade. That's why it matters.
Like, what if I did end up getting with him? Like, what does it matter?
You fraudulently got money off your supporters under the premise your marriage had failed and you had to leave. The reality is you just wanted to be comfortable.
You know? Like, I didn't lie about coming to Canada. I'm in Canada.
You lied about the reasons for coming to Canada, though. You fraudulently procured money off your supporters under the pretense that they were saving you. When, end of the day, you were just merely uncomfortable and wanted better quality of life for yourself.
I'm not about to live my life like, oh, what if we get back together? I'm not living my life like that, and I'm just going to change just for a man. No.
This is true. She's not going to change. She has no intention of trying to change. What she is hoping is that Salah is granted immigration to Canada, and that in itself is enough for him to come over and be with her. It would be enough for him to come over and be with her for a tidgy bit until he can fuck off legally and do whatever he wants in Canada. She has no intention of even attempting to change at all. And the fact of the matter is, he's not going to get the immigration, and the second that's denied, he's gone. See you later, fatto. Fucking hate you. Wish I'd never met you. I've wasted 4 years of my life. So, fuck off. Go rot in a ditch, you obnoxious cow. That's what I think Salah would say. Not me. Salah. In my opinion.
I refuse, so that's why I'm just taking this time to just change, like, for me, and get a life together, you know? Otherwise, well, we are separated. But
this is technically not a lie. They are separated by distance. If Salah was in a different room from her, she could say they were separated. It wouldn't be a lie. They'd be separated by distance and a wall and a door. They're separated by distance. That's it. That's it.
And I'm here in Canada, and with the money that was donated, I used it for the intended purpose to come here.
The intended purpose was to be to Canada. The reason you gave to have to be in Canada was completely fictitious and fraudulent and devious and deceptive, and you're just you're just the most obnoxiously irredeemable, conniving, foul individual, according to other people, not me. Absolutely.
And get my own place, so we're good, right? Okay.
No, absolutely not. You're not good with the visas. He conned them under false pretenses. So I'm going to say this for everybody who donated money to you and legitimately thought they were saving your fucking life. Sit on it and spin. Not really. I don't want you sitting on anything of mine, actually. And it'd be sit and squish, not spin. And I'm not into that kind of thing. I'm no Emily.
Stands up for you to his family, then hell yes, but if not, yeah, there's a lot of stuff nobody online knows about, a lot of stuff that happened, about feelings, a lot of stuff, so.
Yeah. And if everybody knew what actually went on, they'd be fucking furious at you.
Is there someone who embraces me? The problem is, if somebody loves you, they're not going to want you to have unhealthy habits, right?
Additionally, though, if somebody truly loved you, they stick by you and support you, regardless of what direction you take. until it gets to the point that their love is not enough and they need to back away for their own sake. So, not exactly. It's not as nearly as simplistic as you're trying to portray. And Salah is telling you to make these changes not because he legitimately will have you if you improve. He's doing it because he knows you won't achieve any of this stuff. And then when push comes to shove at the end, when the immigration's turned down, he can say it wasn't the immigration that was the problem, it was your inability to change that was a problem, and therefore making it your fault. The relationship ended and not his plan all along. He's protecting himself from your rage in the future by developing a scenario where your relationship failing is your fault. Occasionally, that man can be quite smart, but it's still on a very reptilian level. It's more instinctive than cognitive, is what I'm saying.
So, but to like me how I am, like a weirdo and stuff, yeah.
You are not a weirdo. I speak on behalf of all weirdos, or I speak on behalf of myself. You are not a weirdo. You are obnoxious, revolting, unpleasant, manipulative, dark, in a horrible way, unempathetic, lacking sympathy, lacking gratitude, lacking the ability to see anything from anybody else's point of view. Or, let's make it more simple, you are fundamentally unlikable. You are fundamentally unpleasant. And that is what not all people like. It's not you being a weirdo, because you're not. There's nothing special about you. There's a lot that's sinister about you, but it's not the same thing. There's nothing extraordinary about Jeffrey Dahmer apart from the fact he murdered and cannibalised people. I'm just saying, that might have been a bad example. But the majority of serial killers, everybody says, well, it just seemed ordinary. Yeah, you're ordinary, but you're dark.
The problem is that's not very attractive to most men.
Now, as an actual person who would be considered weird, no, it's not actually attractive to the majority of men. But, and here's the thing, most people who are legitimately unusual don't want most men. They tend to want relationships with people who are similar to themselves and are tolerant and open-minded and have views that are similar to themselves. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. You're not attractive to the majority of mankind because of who you are, not what you are. So there's that.
A woman who is not very feminine, you know? But
it's not that you're not feminine, Foodie. You're neither feminine nor masculine. You just are. It's what you are. This amalgamation of unpleasantness and unlikability and revoltingness that is unattractive. Your personality is unattractive. Your character is unattractive. Your behaviour is unattractive. Please note, Foodie, that not once during this part of the conversation did I mention your size or your weight. Not once.
hellhole. It wasn't a hellhole.
You called it a hellhole.
And I used the money to escape, right? Or get
No, you used the money to improve your quality of life because you're uncomfortable. You weren't escaping from Salah, which is what you implied. You're escaping from not having all the things you wanted and all the things you think you deserve.
out of Syria here. Being miserable isn't attractive. Exactly.
There is actually a bit of truth to that. But you're miserable because of who you are. So that's kind of a vicious circle.
I'm not admitting anything that is not true.
Actually, you're not admitting anything that is true. I think you got things a bit mixed up there.
I've told you guys the truth. You know?
Fuck off of you. Fuck off. Have you told the truth about fucking anything? I mean, you lie about everything. And that's because you're a pathological liar. And the reason you're a pathological liar is you think you, as you are, with all your things about your personality that I have listed, knows in your heart and heart and feels that you are not good enough or interesting enough, and therefore you lie about everything to make yourself appear good enough or interesting enough for attention.
No. It's very, very complicated, my situation in life.
Not in the slightest. Everything in your life is because of your actions, your choices, your decisions. Everything is because of you and you alone.
In general right now, so it's, yeah. I specifically said it was a hellhole.
Yep, you absolutely did call it a hellhole.
Oh, I don't know. I say a lot of things when I'm mad.
And that's not an excuse. You shouldn't use being mad as an excuse for talking shit about anything or anyone.
See, sometimes she has to lie. She doesn't have to tell everyone everything about her life.
She doesn't have to lie. She categorically does not have to lie. She just doesn't have to tell us things. I don't lie. I don't like lying. I don't like liars. What I do is not to tell everybody everything. So you could say I'm lying by admission, okay? But I'm not actively participating in the act of lying. I'm not consciously making the decision to lie. I just neglect to say stuff. And on the level of what's crap and what's more crap, not saying anything and therefore lying by admission, it's not as bad as deliberately lying, and it's not as bad as deliberately lying about the lies. So, no, you shouldn't lie. I think lying is, quite frankly, pointless and pathetic, and actually takes a lot more effort than telling the truth, and is a lot more harmful for your mental health than telling the truth.
Right, exactly. I was insecure in every relationship.
You weren't insecure in your relationship with Pete because, quite frankly, you believe Pete is beneath you and that Pete should have been grateful for you gracing him with your very existence. You didn't feel insecure with BB because you knew you had something over him that kept him where he was, and that was his immigration status. You felt insecure about other people because they very blatantly didn't actually want to be with you. You had a use, and that use was temporary, and that's why you felt insecure, because you were being rejected by people who were using you, and yet you still consider both those scenarios as actual relationships.
Look at with Grace Kelly with Pete, so that he did nothing. But if you want to keep private life private, I understand. I don't need to know everything. Don't tell me. It's residential. It's honesty. Well, sometimes I lie to mislead the public. I do, yes.
Just don't talk about the shit and you won't have to lie about the shit. There is no need to lie. It doesn't serve any huge purpose in this case. If you're lying to save somebody's feelings, if you're lying to protect somebody, you're lying for your own purposes and your own gain, and that is not.
Things I lie about are not important, and Beezers would not give a shit if I have a dishwasher.
The dishwasher wasn't important. Lying about needing to be rescued to leave Syria, big deal. Lying about Sassa's money, big deal. Lying about the kitten, Bruce, being in poor health and therefore you having to rescue him, and also not being able to find his mum, big deal. Lying about Nader and giving him an alibi for his crimes, big fucking deal.
Washer or not, they know what I go through.
You barely go through anything, and as I've said before, it's all of your own making.
Like, even stuff like that about our divorce, like, I should just keep all that private from now on, you know? It's no one's business, really. All I
It's absolutely everybody's business, because the whole business of you getting divorced was the pretense of them rescuing you, giving you shitloads of money to get you to Canada.
said online was we're getting separated. And that's all it should be at, like, you know?
So, they're still together. But I've always known this, and now 95% of girl world are cottoning on as well. And you, Foodie, hate this, because you thought you were being so fucking clever.
Honestly, I swear to God.
Too many statements to confirm the fact she's about to tell the truth, which is a very clear indication of an upcoming deception. Saying, honestly, trust me, would I lie to you? I swear on my life, my kid's life, my pet's life, I swear to God, are all statements that are trying to convince you what's about to come out of this person is a lie. And it's very easy to swear to God when you, who may or may not legitimately believe in God, but we're going to go under the premise that you do, although I doubt it. God's very convenient. It's a very good card to pull out. The get out of jail free card is God, and it's very convenient and handy that you believe in him. But it's very easy to swear to God when you don't fear the repercussions that God gives to people for lying, because you legitimately think, if you legitimately believe in God, you think you're beyond punishment religiously, because you feel you have suffered enough and that you deserve rewards and you deserve all the good things because of who you are. You legitimately think you're the bee's knees, the dog's bollocks, you know, the queen of girl world. You legitimately believe you deserve all the things, even from God.
That
Fucking narcissist.
I'm happy being alone.
Because she's not alone. She's physically alone because they're separated by distance, but she's still being sweet talked by Mr. Salah. So that's enough for her.
Right now. I don't want to be with a man right now.
Because if she gets with a man, then Salah is out of here sooner than the year. Now, this was a very large box full of bottles of things, and I didn't root through the large box of bottle of things because it was displayed in a way that was quite frankly unappealing. I like my toiletries to be displayed somewhat more appealingly than a cardboard box full of stuff. But anyway, we're in the bargain warehouse, which, as I said, feels like you shouldn't be shopping there because it feels really shady. But occasionally a gem will appear, usually in the form of a soft beverage or a sweet. Anyway, marvel at the brilliance that is the bargain warehouse.
Yes, that includes love. I don't want to be with anybody. It's complicated because it's like it's hard to explain to you guys when you ask me, are you together or not? It's not.
No, it's not. The answer is either yes or no. This isn't Facebook. Your relationship status isn't it's complicated. You're either together or you're not. Nothing complicated about that at all.
Just black and white answer, no.
It's not, we might be together if I get healthier and my mental health improves. It's yes or no. If there's terms and conditions to your relationship continuing, it means the relationship's still on.
It's like, I don't know how to explain, like, we're separated, but not fully 100% legally divorced.
Now, in Bargain Warehouse, you'll find a lot of really peculiar beverages. There was a Skittles drink, for which my eldest said it's the most revolting thing you've ever tasted on the planet. There's various weird monster drinks and health drinks and alkaline water, and iced teas seems to be quite a big thing.
But separated in the eyes of God. Some days I miss being married.
A lot of Rubicon drinks too.
We didn't hold out hope that in the future maybe I will be again. Will that be with Salah or not? I don't know. I think that the more time we spend apart from each other, the more we work on ourselves separately, it's not, that usually doesn't save relationships, but...
Actually, a lot of therapists suggest some separation in order to figure things out as part of couples therapy. So actually it does. Now, this drink in the corner I have on great authority is Fanta. Peach and cherry blossom or something. Not that I can tell, but my eldest can actually read Chinese, which is quite remarkable because I am absolutely hopeless at languages, even my own.
Yeah. You're just trying to make sense of
Fanta or Tanga, I can't remember.
your life and all the residual feelings.
There's a lot of it.
I think he feels like he met me halfway. His family was really against him. Like, some members were against him.
Always take the first statement true if she immediately corrects herself. All of the family were against him marrying her.
Not marrying traditionally.
And it's not marrying traditionally. What she's saying is they had a civil, non-religious marriage. And while he married her as a Christian, as in she presented herself as a Christian when they got married, and that is perfectly fine within Islam. A Muslim man can marry a Christian, Muslim or Jewish woman because the stipulations are that you have to marry somebody who believes that there is only one God and that they all belong to the faith of the books being the Quran, the Bible and the Torah. It's the Torah, isn't it? I feel like I've made a big mistake there. Anyway, because lineage goes down the father's side, as long as you marry somebody who also believes there's one God, a monotheistic faith, you're fine. But the issue is, that marriage, being the only kind of marriage they could have had in Kuwait, a civil marriage, is not religiously recognised in Muslim countries, and that's why they have issue with the non-traditional marriage. It's not religiously sanctioned in Muslim countries.
So I think he feels like he sacrificed his relationship maybe with some family from the get-go. I feel like I am being myself.
You're being yourself with a lot of restrictions.
It's not exactly the same as I used to be. I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm not in limbo with anything.
You're absolutely categorically in limbo. You are waiting for the inevitable Salah not being accepted into Canada and just hoping that he will let you back into Syria regardless. That's what you're waiting for. Knowingly waiting for the fruition of Salah's scam to happen and for him to suddenly realise that despite everything and despite the fact he didn't get what he wanted, he still somehow wants to be around you.
I'm not putting my life on hold for anything. I'm just...
Absolutely categorically are. You are not living. You're barely surviving. You are simply existing.
100% living my life. Like, working on trying...
Also at Bargain Warehouse you can get huge quantities of the same sweet, i.e. you buy a big box and then you've got to work your way through multiple bags of the identical sweet. There's not much mixing up of something there, so you've got to really like the sweet in order to buy the enormous box of the sweet.
Better my life. What I wanted to achieve first was not feeling like crap.
You failed miserably at that. You feel like crap, you look like crap, and you're trying not to cry currently.
And then I realized that there's so much, at first I thought my life was over, because that was my life, right? Salah. Now I'm realizing there's 100 million trillion things to life.
And yet, you're not doing any of it. At all.
And if this is where God wants me here, well, there you go.
Convenient excuse is convenient. She's pulled out the God card, the get out of jail free card, again. Now, I've told this joke before about the man who wanted to win the lottery. So every night he'd get down on his knees by his bed and praise to God, please, 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 let me win the lottery. And the next day, he doesn't win the lottery. And so this goes on for ages and ages. Please, 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 let me win the lottery. And after a significant amount of time, he's there praying again. Please, 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 God, let me win the lottery. And God has had enough. Finally decides to speak up. He goes, I've put everything in place for you to win the lottery. But you've got to buy a fucking ticket.
feel like
Obviously, God didn't say fucking. I just added that for emphasis.
on myself. I think like people feel like I'm always the type of foodie where I'm just like nude on an exercise ball.
Because that was you being authentic, not muted foodie, who knew she was being muted, claimed she hated it, and yet even when she has the opportunity to be authentic again, is still muted because of the promise of Salah.
Like that's not who I am, especially now, you know?
It's exactly who you are.
I think like people think all fat women.
You tried to do it with the wigs and the dress as a top business, but Salah said no. You really did want to be authentic, but your boss said no.
Men are just like desperate and lonely and loser and have to be chase men. Like that's not true.
But you want to. You'd prefer to, but for some reason you have accepted your fate, and you have accepted that a romance scammer is preferable to being single. Let that sink in.
What's all lies?
Fucking everything. Right, I kept this bit in, not because it's interesting, but because Foodie has placed her camera in a position that it can film her going to the bathroom and getting dressed. And the mere act of placing the camera has made her lose her breath. Now, I cut out a fair bit from this, so you're going to miss the initial part, but you'll see the end part. And this is this. She goes into the bathroom. Before she enters bathroom, the cat runs right into the bathroom and therefore is shut in the bathroom with Foodie, which quite frankly I consider mistreatment, being shut in a bathroom with Foodie which she uses as the toilet, but I digress. We do see her leave the bathroom though, and at no point do you see the cat come back out, and she shuts the door. She's shut the cat in the bathroom. Is the cat still in the bathroom? At what point does the cat come out of the bathroom? I don't see the cat leaving the bathroom.
Okay. No, they didn't find the right ad. It wasn't 300.
Bullshit. She says she lied about the cat being $30, and she lied about it because she didn't want people finding the ads, and the fact of the matter is she paid $80. People weren't searching for the ad for the cat by the price. They used reverse image search. They found the ad for the cat using actual photos of the cat, and they found the same photo you used in the advertisement for the cat. It was identical. It was the same cat, and that cat was advertised for $300. There's evidence all over the fucking internet you paid $300 for that cat. Just don't mention it again. It's easier than you perpetuating this lie and continuing it and making yourself look foolish.
She was 300.
No cat coming out. Cat is now locked in bathroom that Foodie has just used. The coat didn't make you look exponentially bigger than you actually are. Your fears are unfounded.
I have to look up again. I'm not even kidding.
Hopefully the cat got out this time.
That's sad.
Yes, it is. You've got the bladder of a 70-year-old. Presuming it's your bladder we're talking about. Otherwise... ugh.
I have my hijab for hat.
Just get out of breath putting a coat on. Can you imagine getting out of breath putting your coat on? Now, Foodie is actually going to go outside, and then she's going to say, the cold is making it hard to breathe, it's making it hard to breathe. Now, I would argue, using my observation skills and my ability to hear, her breathing isn't noticeably worse for being outside in the cold than it actually is from her setting up her phone or putting her coat on. I see no difference. Nothing at all. No difference from being outside in the cold with her breathing to being indoors normally. None whatsoever.
I'm gonna see how cold it is if I can't breathe. I'm not going.
That's a really good excuse for everything, though. If I can't breathe, I'm not going, because you have difficulty breathing doing anything. So you can legitimately say, I'm not doing anything because I can't breathe. You can't add the caveat because it's cold, or you can't add the caveat because it's uphill. You literally can just say, I'm not doing anything, I can't breathe, because you legitimately cannot breathe. And that is my child, who is no longer at school because they feel unwell, eating something that sounds pre-wrapped and somewhat snacky. I pointed out the Hershey bars. Hershey isn't a popular chocolate in England, to which my eldest went, ugh, because apparently it's deliberately made to taste a certain way that is somewhat unpleasant, and no disrespect to the people who make Hershey's, but it does include the same chemical that you find in vomit. Look it up. I'm not bullshitting here, unfortunately.
You didn't hear water running?
We didn't hear the toilet flush either. She's put on a coat and she's breathing like that. I don't think the cold has anything to do with her decision not to go out.
Okay, guys. I don't think I can go. It's fucking cold. And I can't breathe. I gotta go.
Breathing's no worse than it was upstairs. Can't hear the difference.
All the way over here.
She does start sniffing. Does make her nose run. But that's not a really good excuse. I can't go out because it makes my nose run. It's not nearly as dramatic, is it?
I know, but it's
Yeah, you're making yourself breathe heavier. You're such a child.
freezing, guys. Like, I can't go out in this weather. It's like, when it's cold like this, bro, it's like taking my breath away.
No, it's not.
It's freezing, guys.
It's making you sniff a lot, though.
It's like, it's not even pleasant. Oh, I can't breathe.
The way she walks, the shadow, you see her kicking out her leg. It's worse than it's ever been. It's worse than it's ever been.
I know, but I should use the gym on cold days like this.
You're never going to enter that fucking gym again, now that you've shown it. She showed the gym. I didn't think it was important.
You know? My breath.
Saying my breath doesn't mean your breath got worse. You're just playing it up.
Yeah. Now I feel bad that I didn't go.
No, you don't. You're happy you're back.
But yeah, you guys are mistaken if you think that I'm going to just sit in here and cry to myself and try to be better for a man.
You're not going to try to be better at all. So yeah, you're not going to try and be better for a man. You're not trying to be better for a man. You have absolutely no intention of trying at all.
You're mistaken because, first of all, I don't need to be better for any man.
You do need to be better for your longevity, for extending your life.
To be better for myself. Second, that's the thing. Like, I don't need to, improve myself. Okay.
I mean, you certainly don't need to get worse. Definitely don't need to get worse. I think the current state isn't exactly preferable either, so yeah. Improvement's the only direction that would make any difference whatsoever to how long you live and how well you live the remaining time you have left.
Okay. No, I do need to. I'm not muted. Like, guys. No.
Well, that's that. I hope I made it slightly more interesting. Anyway, finished project, end cards, and we are done. If I press the right effing button. Oh gosh, this one's longer than the last one.